My next guest is Mr. Nixon Joseph, a very, very special person. He was my mentor in 2017 when I had joined the State Bank of India Youth for India Fellowship. At that time, he was the head of the fellowship. As of now, he works for CLT, Children Love Castles, in Bangalore. And whenever I visit Bangalore, I make it a point to go and visit him. An avid runner, he's completed around 72 marathons. And he is always optimistic and always looks on the bright side of life. Whenever I had a problem, I used to always ask him, "Sir, what do I need to do next? Can you help me?" And he has always been there. An inspiration, role model, and leader, Mr. Nixon Joseph, President and COO of the State Bank of India Foundation, and an amazing 45 full marathon finisher, has inspired our inspiring minds set of bathing bars. He has inspired me immensely, and through his constant guidance and support, Kingly Experience is where it is today. Thank you, sir.
The secret of my freshness. Kingly's Organic Luxuries.
He has given a lot of speeches on CSR, corporate social responsibility, around India. Hyderabad, Bombay, Delhi, Calcutta, you name it, he's been there. Many people look up to him. And whenever I come to Bangalore and we have a discussion, it's about sustainability most of the time. Because I have slowly developed this idea that sustainability is tending to be a little bit of a scam in India, where I see firsthand people talk about sustainability when it comes to rural development, but after 2 or 3 years, nothing has happened. You'd be shocked to know, for example, there are 30 villages, and this is in the discussion, where these NGOs will only take you to say 3 villages rather than they won't show you all the villages, because these people, the funders, don't have time. So my idea for the talk was to kind of ease people like me who have slowly got into this rut where, hold on, can India be truly sustainable when it comes to short-term, medium and long-term goals? So check out this interview. Hope you like it. Like and subscribe. Thank you so much for this interview. Right, I really appreciate it. Uh, so today I just wanted, we both we go a long way back. I mean, you've always been supporting us right from SBI Youth for India, the fellowship, and all the projects there. Uh, so as I've started this new channel, I wanted to delve more into sustainability, but into realistic sustainability, where as I have worked in all these areas, I've found, it's easy to talk about it, but it's very, very difficult to actually do it. And a lot of projects fail because over a period of time after funds dry up, everything stops. So I wanted to know your view on sustainability taking India into perspective, and how India, if possible, can be a leader in its SDG goals.
Okay. A very complex question you have asked me. I I feel like when donors see projects, they want all projects to be scalable and sustainable. So from like implementing agencies side, I have observed that even if the project is not really sustainable, they somehow design it in such a way that the project looks scalable and sustainable. You rightly told that sustainability is something very, very difficult to achieve, because a lot of factors go into it. you take village development. Most of the organizations have projects for developing the village and making it sustainable within 2 to 3 years. Whereas that is not actually possible. It's not feasible to have sustainability within 2 to 3 years. Okay, some sectors, some portions we may try to make it sustainable, but overall we can tell that if the donor exits that village development project after 2 or 3 years, that project is not going to be sustainable. Sustainability, when you tell about projects, it depends on each project. We cannot have a yardstick that each project should be or can become sustainable within 2 years or 3 years or 5 years and all. There are a lot of factors to be seen to before we come to such a timeline. So I fully agree with you. Sustainability in reality is very, very challenging.
It's coming to a point where this is a very controversial take from my side, but this is what I have been talking to a lot of people, and this is the feelings I get. Talking about sustainability is a scam. I understand it's fantastic and everybody wants to be sustainable, but it's turning out to be a scam. Especially in India. And I'll give you an example. Uh, when you come to my place, Pandhana, we have this point where we want to build toilets under the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan stuff, right? And so they built about what, 10 to 12,000 toilets. But I found talking to a lot of people that they were using the toilets as go downs. They were storing liquor, hardly anything happening. And still you have a lot of ODF taking place, right? So, in your view, in your travels, because I've seen you've been traveling a lot. I mean, you've been talking to so many people. Which areas in India, and it can be broken down, demographics, say maybe north, south, maybe Bombay, Maharashtra, where you find sustainability actually taking place?
It's a tough question, Gray, because though I've been traveling to various places and seeing projects also, my observation is that unless we see the project in a long-term way, maybe 8 to 10 years or 12 years, we cannot tell that the project is sustainable. See, we have a project maybe of 2 to 3 years. We implement the project, disburse cash disbursement or funds disbursements taken place, funds have been utilized. And then for when you look or when you view it, you may believe it has become sustainable in the short term. Therefore, when we tell that a project is sustainable, I always value it that at present it is sustainable. It's not in the long term, whether it is sustainable, we will have to wait and see. And therefore, like my travels anywhere, wherever I have gone, I have seen only sustainability in the short term. I have not followed up on those projects to see whether these projects are sustainable in the long term. As I told you, sustainability depends on various factors. And so many external factors can bring change to a project which is considered to be sustainable. Like even your project, suppose we take your project. At the end of 1 year or 2 years, based on our assumptions and all, we can tell, okay, we bring orders, it will, the women will work on the soaps and all, the manufacture soaps, etc. You sell it, etc. It is becoming sustainable. But maybe when we tell it is sustainable, it could be for 1 month or it could be for 1 year. We can tell a project is sustainable only if it is continuing maybe for 10 years or more than 5 to 10 years. Otherwise, we can, I think we should give the opinion that it is sustainable now. And we believe that it can be sustainable. We shouldn't judge it as a sustainable project. See, as you have rightly said, there are a lot of intricacies, complexities when we tell project is sustainable, and it is commonly used in this sector now. Be it from the CSR side or NGO side, it is commonly used. But then very few people go deep into it as you have decided to go on deep on sustainability. We are all happy when, as a donor, we are happy when we are told that project is sustainable. I have heard as a donor when we had supported many projects, be it village development or any other projects. I have seen people telling after 12 months, 24 months that now it's sustainable. Like it was, I still remember one program manager coming and telling me that we have installed or set up 100 toilets in the village. And now that village has become open defecation free. See, I was telling him these two doesn't it doesn't follow clearly, because you can tell we have installed or constructed 100 toilets, but open defecation free can happen only if it is a sustainable thing. Like it requires a lot of efforts, mental setup change, or so many issues are there to make a village open defecation free. Providing toilets is not enough, but in theory we can tell we have provided toilets and then it is open defecation free. That project is sustainable. So similarly, so many projects, when we go deeper, we find that sustainability is loosely used.
So now comes the point where now looking at schools, and schools are looking at sustainability, and you have worked with kids, and you've worked, and CLT also goes in education. How do you involve sustainability into the curriculum? Number one, keeping rural children and urban children different. I mean, they view things in a different way. Urban people look things in a different way. How would you approach these two areas?
Including sustainability in the curriculum, it has to be, see, we have various subjects for the schools and all. Introducing sustainability into such subjects requires a lot of creativity, innovation and all from the teacher side. But there also another issue is, if the education board has not thought about making sustainability a part of the curriculum, it will fail. So it could be one teacher's or two teachers' initiative, or maybe one school's initiative. So the sustainability to happen as a curriculum, it should come from the top first. And then we will have to discuss each topic in detail and see how sustainability aspects can be included in it. There is a lot of thoughts to go into it, a lot of pedagogy changes, everything have to be there. And also, children also will have to be allowed to identify what are the issues related to sustainability around their campus or school, etc., and then come out with solutions which are sustainable. But sustainability as a curriculum, if we can introduce only if the Department of Education wants that to happen. And then a lot of thoughts have to go, teachers, pedagogy, all have to work on how subjects like science, even in science, mathematics, geography, all these, how the principles of sustainability can be integrated there. It should become like a fun way or interesting way of learning sustainability.
Do you think
it should not be another topic? Yes.
Do you think, sir, mentally? Because again, we have to break it down psychologically. or whether India can actually change at the rate things are changing, right? You have climate change happening. A lot of people, you have a lot of deniers. अरे वो first world country का समस्या है, problem है, it's not ours, right? To give you an example, right now, uh, Namibia is going through a huge drought because of the El Nino effect. They are forced to cull 500 wild animals so that people can survive. Right now, they have gone into extremes. And if things continue, it may be not in 5 years, it may not be in 10 years, but it will happen. How do you prepare people for this idea? Because they'll think, you know what, stop being pessimistic, be optimistic, be positive. I don't see it that way whatsoever. So, how can you prepare people mentally?
See, if we see India itself, lot of climate extremities are happening. Things are happening in India. Even recently, if you see in Kerala, Wayanad also, or wherever floods are happening, it's all situations only, or regularly cyclones. All these are happening. So it is clear to us that we have to have a sustainable life. But then there has to be balance between development and development and sustainability. Forest development, for so many years, has been bringing down forests, rocks, pines, all these things and all. In fact, rapacious use of resources, natural resources, because we had only one thing in focus: development, construction of bridges, roads, dams, etc. and all. But now we are coming to suffer the extreme way in which we were destroying nature in the name of development. So this awareness also, see, many of the youths, many of the school children, and many of the common people also are aware about the effects of climate change. But when we go for development or when we go for any activity, are we integrating sustainability into it? It's not being done. See, if we are going for a new construction, are we looking whether that project is sustainable? Sustainable in the sense that sustainability has been looked into in every aspect. It's not that. We may go for environmental, some clearance from some agency, etc. But then in this, every activity we do, sustainability has to be built in. It should come naturally if we have to fight against climate change. But as it's happening now, I don't think it is happening. Now we have classes on sustainability, awareness of sustainability, etc. But when we construct our apartments, our factories, etc., we go for something which is cost efficient. So there and all, we may not go for see whether the materials used for construction, etc., are sustainable. We don't see it. The way electricity also, we don't see whether it is coming from thermal or from renewable sources. So even supply chain, so many issues are there which have to be addressed. And I feel that it has to be a give and take, at least for now and then for some, because we have to develop as well. It has to be a balancing aspect. Then I'm sure that the passage of year, sustainability will be a main factor, and gradually it going in that direction. But here also, as you told earlier, sustainability could be just a fad or something like we tell about sustainability of projects. We don't go into the real sustainability. We may be happy with giving some data, some reporting, etc. We may not be living sustainability.
So, going forward out here, what should be the short term, medium term, and long term goals when it comes to this of, say, an organization or a person, keeping in mind the formula where two short term goals make one medium term goal and two medium term goals make one long term goal. So, could you give us an example and how can we follow through on it?
See, this question I will have to just think about it when I'm not prepared for this question. Okay. This you have to give me some time. I'll come back on this.
I understand.
Okay. Okay.
I
Because
understand.
it requires thought. Yes.
Uh, Now, taking that, in your travels, could you give us two stories of certain people or organizations have really stood out to you?
See, as I told earlier, there are sparks of sustainability here and there. Like when you tell about drinking water, providing drinking water to the community. In some villages and all, they have introduced payment for drinking water, and therefore the project has become sustainable. But then, how long or what is the like over a long period, we have to observe that and see whether it is sustainable or whether that is continuing like that or that has been a short-term practice.
So, I won't go any further, but one very scary, I would like to share one scary thing that happened actually where I work, and I won't give you the NGO's name, though you may know about it. Is uh, so this so the NGOs there is where the more people you have, the better it is. So the more you can actually show your funders. So, for example, you might have, say, 25 villages under you, right? And when anybody comes, say, you know what, I'm starting this project for these 25 villages. And when the funders come, they go only to two or three villages, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
if you are the funder, what advice would you give to funding houses when they go to audit to see where their fund has been utilized?
See, when you fund a project, it's not about funding alone. It is a partnership relation. So the person, organization which has received the funds has to give a clear, accurate, correct picture of what, how the funds have been utilized and what is the status of the project, etc. If there has been some hiding of facts or distortion of facts, etc., the funder has to find it out and take remedial measures. So when the funder goes, he has to see what has happened to the project, commensurate with the funds which have been given to the recipient. So it's like a equal. It's a equal and a bigger role with bigger responsibility for the funder also, because this has been money which has been given to the organization, and it is a funder's job also to see that the fund has been utilized properly. So someone who goes to inspect these units and all have to do it thoroughly, look into the account books of the organization also, see it match with the invoices, etc. See how it has been reported, whether what has been reported correctly, whether it tallies with what is seen on the ground, etc. So there, in every way, the funder shouldn't think that he has given the funds away and therefore his job is over and if he is fully dependent on the NGO. He should also independently visit the project and get see what has happened to the funds, how the funds have been utilized, what are the change has been made, etc. The role of the funder is not just disbursing funds; it is also like a partner. He should also see how it has where the funds have gone, how it is utilized, etc.
Because the project is only good as long as the funds coming, but it is really seen when the tap stops. That's how we can really
But
gauge.
I agree with it. See, the way our NGOs work, most of the NGOs are not sustainable at all. So
Yeah.
unless we have to first think about sustainability of the NGOs before we speak about sustainability of. Well, these are all related things. Donor also should focus on the sustainability of NGOs.
Right.
Otherwise, that see if NGO is not sustainable, it will resort to so much accounting gimmicks, etc. to see how some amount something can be utilized for themselves, for the NGO outside the within that project cost, etc. Because it happens because NGOs are not sustainable. They are depending only on these funds from donors.
Thank you, sir. I mean, appreciate the time taken out. I mean, if we were to really go to discussion, I think it would take at least 5, 6 hours because I
Yes, yes, yes.
it's a very loaded
Thank
place. A lot of
yes, thank
mistakes
you,
made, but thank you, sir.
Obre. Yes, thank you for this interaction. And it is a very complex subject. We have to approach it in different manner, and then it requires a lot of time to think over these and give responses. I hope I have done whatever possible with the limited knowledge I am having. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
sir.
you.
Appreciate the time taken out. Have
Thank
a great day, sir.
you. Thank you. Thank you.